Qigong is based on ancient Chinese medicine, acupressure points, and the movements of the wild goose, which is considered a faithful and wonderful animal to emulate. And practicing it keeps you healthy.
We were sailing north out of Port Sanilac after visiting Cousin Patty and Don, and it was a great time there. And we had nice winds. Winds coming off the shores. We're heading north on Lake Huron along the Michigan shore. So we got 15 knots right on the beam, ideal for sailing and having a great time. As we get to the top of the thumb, now you have to turn to the west into Saginaw Bay, and we were heading right into the wind. We pull into the wind, and immediately the sails, of course, are luffing. We take down the head sail and just start motoring. And we're about an hour or so out of Port Austin, heading into the wind. And then it was as normal, the top of the hour.
Our usual procedure is to do a log every hour or every other hour. So we did our usual log, and we did note that the temperature of the engine was just a little bit higher. It can go to 190, but often it's 180, 185. It didn't surprise us because there have been times that it does run at 190.
So I came up from the cabin, and I heard Dave say, "Hey, the engine sounds different." And usually you get used to the normal sound of that exhaust coming out the engine when you're running the motor. I mean, it's a very quiet, discernible sound. I made the decision to cut the engine to make sure there was no overheating or any damage.
Since we were going right into the wind, this meant now, in order to sail into the harbor, we had to do some tacking.
And then I was able to get the boat right up to the break wall. Probably could have sailed in, but we pulled up to the break wall, pulled into the wind, doused the sails, and I went ahead and started the engine up again. And we got Dave and Jim and Kelly out on deck with mooring lines. I motored right up to the dock. And first try, everybody hooked on, even though there was 15 knots of wind blowing right off the dock, blowing us away from the dock. Everybody got their lines on right away. So one try, and I was able to shut the motor back down and take a deep breath. What ended up happening, we took the raw water pump. There's a little plastic or rubber impeller in there. We checked that. No, that was fine. Dave suggested we start the engine just to see if the pump was turning, which we did try, and no, it was not turning. So immediately we knew it was either the water pump or the connection to the camshaft or something. Well, as it turned out, there was a diesel mechanic in the next town over in Caseville, and he came right over the next day and took a look and said, yep, that's right away was able to find the bad part, and we ordered it up. It came in the next day, not till the evening, so it was we ended up being 3 days there in Port Austin, but we were able to get an overnighted new raw water pump direct from Volvo Penta, the distributor, and got it installed, back up and running. And man, in the meantime, we're sitting in one of the most beautiful ports on the Great Lakes. So it was all in all a little stressful at first, cost a little bit of money to get it repaired, but we were back on our way.